What's the difference, right? What's the difference? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Because I have, right? Before anybody like Troy became successful, we sat down, we asked ourselves one question. What's the difference between that person that's been successful and me? We're both human. We both have the same 24 hours in a day. We both have the same time. How is it that he's successful? And sometimes you may even be more educated than me. See, it's not about your education. It's not about you trying to figure it out by yourself. It's about understanding that there are professional experts in certain areas, and they're experts for a reason. And when you hire them, they're going to help you.
I Digress is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. By shedding light on the stories behind the shiny resumes, social media highlights, and job titles, No Straight Path, hosted by Ashley Menzies Babatunde, aims to humanize success from the millennial perspective. Featuring guests from all walks of life, No Straight Path aims to inspire conversations around the nuanced perspective of success. How do you define success, overcome failure, and endure life's unanticipated challenge? No Straight Path covers all of that and more. Recent episodes like Success is Maximizing Happiness, Finding Your Voice, and Success is Communal is all intent to help you see all the different layers it takes to be successful and what success really means in a modern era. Listen to No Straight Path wherever you get your podcasts.
I want you to speak on this because on a different post on LinkedIn, you shared about being unapologetic about your time, right? You shared about, listen, if you can't value my time, I don't have time for you. That you've gotten to a point where you're comfortable closing and not making yourself available for anybody that doesn't value your time. Let's talk about that. Elaborate on that a little bit.
That framework of understanding takes time. There was a time where I thought, just as a creator, as a Black business, as someone who just wanted exposure, that authority piece, I had to pay my dues. I need to be on everybody's live stream, everybody's podcast, everybody Clubhouse, when Clubhouse was popping, Twitter Space, anything and everything I could, because I need people to see me. The more people saw me, I hope maybe they trust me with their business, or they'll give me to the next opportunity. And you tie that into this hustle culture. You got to go, 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 go. And there's a time and place for that. Let me be clear. There's a time and place for that. What I've grown now in wisdom that I would tell my younger self back then, there was a lot of things I didn't have to do. There was a lot of things I made the decision to accept that to be free when I didn't have to.
What's up, digital world? You're listening to the I Digress audio experience with Troy Sandidge. Social media, marketing, storytelling, business, culture, and more. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
See, in our minds, there's a certain narrative that we can say we're not worthy of being paid just yet because we don't look like that person. We're not worthy, and we're comparing ourselves to all these different individuals. Stop that. I've now realized for me to grow, we have only X amount of time in the day, 86,400 seconds in a day. And I'm giving all of this stuff to everybody else for free. How am I going to eat? How am I going to live? Huh? Now, let me make this very clear too, because you'll get the quick thing of, well, Troy, aren't you supposed to help me? You know, don't you care? Don't you make an impact? Oh, I do. I give a podcast for free. I took my consultations that could be anywhere between $5,000 to $25,000. I consult the core benefits into a book that you can buy for $20. No. I have structure to help people who are on the come up who can't afford me right now. But what we have to understand is our time is valuable, and there is nothing wrong with having boundaries so people can respect you. I found that if people are trying to manipulate you to get what you want for free under the terms of friendship or exposure, they'll make the people you want to engage with. Now, it's different if you have the conversation. They respect you and make it very clear. This is a free opportunity. This is a pro bono thing. And then you decide to do it off your free will, off your merit. That means you're still in the driver's seat. But when you're trying to on the come up, now, you can choose kind of sometimes I have chose opportunities that I didn't know, but I knew the exposure was worth it. And there was times this exposure is nothing. I've already established myself. And so as a creator, and if I could be more specific, as a person of color, business creator organization, I understand the immediateness to say yes to anything that sounds good remotely, but have a checklist. Do I have the capacity to do this? Will this deter me from anything else I have going on in my content or in my business? If this is something I'm going to do, what are the 5 ways this is going to help me make more money and eventually give me more exposure in the long term? If you can't answer these questions in a really quick, efficient way, maybe you shouldn't take it. But also understand that maybe you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. I'll say this and I'm done because this is very true. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. We talked about that authority. 3 years ago, people knew me as Fine Troy. That's actually my username. I actually built a business around that, thinking because it was so popular in this echo chamber I was in, oh, this makes sense to make a business. This is why a business name is very important. No money, though. But people kept telling me how great I was. People kept saying how good I was on social media. This the guy. This the man. Yeah. But no one was paying me. And I went through that thing and I was just like that. I'm creating this content, and I'm thinking I got to work harder. I got to spend more time, more hours, more energy. And I still was not making any money. What's the problem? It's the world. No. It was me. It was me. I was putting all the energy focusing on the wrong people who had never had an intention to pay. I wasn't clear about my offerings. My products and services were too cheap compared to what I needed to survive. So what did I do? I went in the lab. I rebranded everything. Strategy Hacker was born. And people see that, oh, no, that's not a black person just trying to claim it. No, that is registered with the Trademark Association. You go check it out right now. It is there. I put the money on it, right? Got that trademark. I rebranded myself. And don't you know, with just that name alone, I got business. I didn't even have a website for it yet. Got the business. Didn't even have the S-Corp set up yet. Got new business because that name meant something to the audience that saw the value and wanted to pay for what I offered. Now, fast forward to today. That transition was awkward and hard. The people who I had this whole ecosystem of people who knew who I was, they weren't the right people for my business or my content. I had to leave. Do you know how hard it is for a content creator to leave and abandon an already established community to go build another one? You leave an oasis and you going into the desert and building another one from scratch. But I realized I had to do the deep work to get that money, to get that authority, to get that profitability, and set me and my family up. People don't talk about that, but that's what I did. Now, granted, a lot of deep work. A lot of folk, where'd Troy go? We don't know where he went. He ain't in these normal circles no more. Sure enough, sometimes you go deep in the ocean. I'm a very visual person. You get deep in the ocean, you swimming deep, you're doing your thing, and every so often, you kind of come out the water, get some air. Hey, I'm still alive, y'all. Here's where I'm at now. And either you go back under again, and here I am. Now people are understanding me now because, wow, he's making moves. How he's doing that? Because I did the deep work. I understood that content posting on social media ain't enough. Social media is a bridge. It is not the destination. I talk about that in my book. When you're talking to people, speak to network and connect, not just to consume your content. Because me and JP over here, we having conversations to get deals done to help each other grow. There's enough room for all of us in the sky to fly. As a content creator, you need people surrounding you that when they know what your moves are, I got somebody. Let me refer a business to you. Let me refer a trusted, established press to you. Let me connect you to someone who can maybe help you to someone else. If you don't have these things in place, no matter how hard you work, you will never grow to where your potential could be because you didn't have the infrastructure in place to establish that authority to get you there.
Oh, man. And that's literally the blueprint for several successful entrepreneurs. Several. I mean, you have no idea how many people took control of the narrative by rebranding themselves, their organization, because that's what branding is about.
Would you mind doing a quick mental exercise with me? It'll only take a second. Imagine for a moment you're at work and suddenly you and your team are perfectly connected. I mean, perfectly aligned, 100%. There's no miscommunication, nothing falling through the cracks. You are totally 100% in sync, a collaborative, intuitive, and motivated force of nature. How does that feel? Pretty good, right? HubSpot helps you and your teams connect so you can always be in sync. With shared access to the same customer data, you and your teams can see the full customer picture. HubSpot's powerful CRM platform powers you and your teams to officially collaborate and power exceptional customer experiences so you can scale fast together. Learn how HubSpot can help your business grow better at HubSpot.com.
The beauty of branding is that you can redefine it. You can actually control the narrative in your favor. If it's not working, go back in the lab. Don't be scared to be in the desert time. You cannot, work on a project and be shining at the same time. There's a time to sow, to water, and then to reap. That's the thing we're talking about here. Understanding the seasons and really being efficient, taking advantage of every season. And, let's be real. It costs money. Probably money that you didn't really have. Well, you got tax returns. You go out to eat all the time. You buy new rims in your car. Again, Content Creators University is about being real. Troy know what we're talking about. If you can't save all of that to work on your own business and you keep complaining, well, nobody's going to do it for you. Because people like Troy and me, we had to spend the money. Everything Troy just talked about, he had to spend the money to get all of this revamped. It's not free. You can do it yourself, right? I really wanted Troy to talk to y'all because I got this question, Troy, in private, anonymously. So I'm not going to tell the person's name, but they're like, well, what if you just want to do it all yourself? What if you're good at technology? You're good at learning quick. You're a quick learner and you really want to develop your own website. You really want to do your own graphics. You really want to do your own communication strategy. You really want to handle everything. What if you're that type of person? Is there anything wrong with that? Fair question, right? I will say, Troy, what would you tell that person?
I'll tell you, first off, I am that person. I'm a quick study. There's most things I can pick up in a good amount of time. God's blessed me with a good creative memory. I'm very curious. I'm humble, and I'll put in the work and I'll study. I'll come prepared, just how JP come prepared every time. We come prepared. But I had to understand there's only 24 hours in the day, and you're human. You are not a robot. And guess what? There's always somebody who can do it better than you every single time. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you study from YouTube University or go to college or pay courses for it, there's always going to be somebody who can do it better than you. And if you're working hard enough and you have the investment money or you can pull it from somewhere or things like that to delegate someone else to use their superpower to do what they do so you don't got to do it, then you can spend some time doing it. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think Jeff Bezos is running Amazon right now? I'm very sure he's a very smart man. Very smart man. You think Tyler Perry is running all his stuff right now? Oprah running all her stuff right now? All her empires? They knew what they were good at. They focused on what they were good at. And when they were able to get better, to get the money, they delegated. And then they did it again. Then they delegated.
It's time to take control of your social media marketing. Stay organized, save time, and easily manage your social media with AgoraPulse's inbox, publishing, reporting, monitoring, and team collaboration tools. As the ecosystem of social media is constantly changing, constantly evolving, social media managers and their counterparts need a one easy-to-use solution loaded with powerful features to help them navigate the digital world. One tool for publishing, scheduling, monitoring, listening, and reporting, all inclusive, all at your fingertips, with over 31,000 social media managers using this tool daily. AgoraPulse packs a ton of features on a unified social inbox, intuitive publishing, social listening, insightful analytics, and social media ROI, where you can easily see what posts and conversations are driving sales, leads, and traffic, and that's without being a Google Analytics expert. With some of the best support in the business. Rated number 1 on Capterra, number 1 support on G2 Crowd, 96% user satisfaction score, and a 30-minute response time. With that amount of support, an all-inclusive turnkey one-platform solution with some of the best pricing for growing teams, you can't lose. And as an exclusive for the I Digress podcast listeners, you can get 2 free months using the AgoraPulse tool for free at social.agorapulse.com/findtroy. The link to the 2 free months, more information about AgoraPulse, as well as some key insights I've shared on AgoraPulse's social media pulse community will be in the show notes.
People want to make money. They want abundance. You know what the most abundant thing you have is time. Time is the most expensive commodity that you have. Now, let me compare this really quick. There was a time where Troy Sandidge would work a 9 to 5 and then study and work some other stuff. And then from 9 p.m. to about 3 or 4 a.m., I'm putting in the work again. And I did that for years, all in my 20s. I didn't go on vacations. And people think that's like a bragging thing. If I could go back in time now, I tell myself, if you don't spend some time on vacation to reset yourself, take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health. Now, I've done sowed the seeds, but I refuse to do it in my 30s. And people are like, wow, when he turned 30, he just went all out. And I put in the work. Understand that you have no control over all these different variables. What you can control is what you spend your time with. Your time is very precious. And if you can have someone else giving you back 6 hours of your time a day or 25 hours a month so you can focus on building, do you know how much more abundance you can gain? How much more growth, how much more money you can get? How you can, people think with sacrifices, you can't grow your business and through things. I'm putting in time, make sure my wife is good, my family is good, and I'm still growing. I'm growing more now than I was spending 18 hours a day. But that's because I learned how to build systems. I learned how to delegate, and I unlearned this hustle culture and learned how to delegate. So you can do a lot of things. That's great. That's a great skill to be able to have when you're on the come up. But come to the understanding, at a certain point, at a certain level, you will have to give up the responsibility and delegate that to someone else if you want to break and add that next zero to the ceiling, going from a 5-figure to a 6 to a 7 to an 8. The more zeros you get, the more you must delegate.
Oh, yo, drop the mic. Drop the mic, family. Listen, he said it all.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Digress. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Troy on social media? You can find him on all platforms at Find Troy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you're listening. Looking for a marketing strategist to build the structure, strategies, and systems you need to get the success you want and the ROI you desire in your business? Book a discovery call to talk with Troy at findtroy.com. And as Troy's philosophy goes, imagination is the engine, content is the fuel, social media is the highway, marketing is the roadmap, sales is the destination, culture is the GPS. Thanks for listening.